Multiple fatalities after two small planes collide while trying to land at an airport in Santa Cruz County.
I just heard a loud explosion, shook the big door out there, and I came out and looked, and I just saw a big black ball of smoke and some flames.
Witnesses describe a chaotic scene after the midair collision. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meeback.
And I'm Christina Rendon. The crash happened around 3 o'clock this afternoon as those planes were trying to land at the Watsonville Municipal Airport about 10 miles east of Capitola. We have live coverage tonight from KTVU's LaMonica Peters with the latest on the investigation now underway.
Yeah, you guys, as you mentioned, this happened earlier this afternoon around 3 o'clock here at the Watsonville Airport. We're told that two airplanes collided midair as they both were trying to land. Now, we've been here for hours, but about 8 o'clock we could see, if you roll the video, we could see the coroner's office show up. Two of the fire stations, of course, tried to make it secure for them. This was the Cessna 152 that they were removing one of the victims from the remains of that Cessna 152. So they were here earlier this afternoon, investigators from the NTSB, also from the FFA. Now, we thought we would hear from the FFA by now, the FAA, but we haven't heard from them. So they're here, they're investigating, and they're just trying to figure out what happened when those planes collided.
We came over to the street and we saw it explode, and then we looked over here and we saw this plane.
Witnesses say the sky was clear around 3 o'clock this afternoon when two small Cessna planes, one with two people inside and the other a single pilot, crashed in the air as they both tried to land at the Watsonville Airport. William Armstrong says he was attempting to land his plane right after the crash happened.
They said you couldn't land on this runway and this runway, which is the same thing. And I said, so basically the airport is closed. And he said, yes. And I said, when is it likely to open? Because I was going to fly around in circles. And then he says, not today.
Armstrong says he had to go to a nearby airport and catch a ride back to Watsonville to get his car. He also says there have been a few accidents in the 15 years he's used this airport, but he considers it safe.
Mid-air collisions they're very uncommon, but they are more common right next to the airport because all the airplanes are converging on one point.
Two of the people involved in the plane crash have died, but the FAA has not yet identified any of the victims. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department kept the airport secure while investigators worked. Bonnie Gutierrez has lived in this area since 1985 and says deadly crashes have happened in Watsonville before.
He had his wife and his kids, and he overloaded the plane and then went up and saw the fog bank and tried to curve, and then went over and crashed into the medical buildings by the hospital, and killed them all. And so that was a real sad one.
Now, we were also able to get a hold of some surveillance video from across the street from this airport. If you take a look at it, you can see in the top of the right hand corner of the video, you can see the wing of the plane. It goes back to another shot, and then you'll see the explosion towards the end of that surveillance video. So of course, I'm sure investigators will be taking a look at this video as well as talking to other people who were in the area, completing their investigation, talking to witnesses. And of course, again, the FAA as well as the NTSB will be investigating, but it could be weeks or maybe even months before we find out exactly how these two planes collided in the air. Christina?
LaMonica Peters live in Watsonville tonight. LaMonica, thank you.